Welcome to the Dopamine Revolution podcast, episode 2, GMOs, genetically modified organisms in food. I'm your host, Sean David Cohen. This is the ultimate symbiosis of mind and body where we promote and protect the holy grail of brain juice, the elixir of life, dopamine. Yes, that's right. We are going to talk about genetically modified organisms today. GMOs. Everybody's heard of them, but hardly anybody knows what they really are. What do they mean to your health? Why should you avoid them? People avoid buying organic food because it's more expensive. Oh my gosh, look at the price of blueberries compared to the non-organic blueberries. It's like $1 more. I'm not paying that. That's what people are thinking. They're in the store, they're looking at the produce, they're looking at the pasta, they're looking at the bread, and they're like, I'm not paying that. Groceries are already expensive. Look at the eggs. The groceries are already expensive. The inflation, the 4-year onslaught of inflation doubled, even tripled some of our grocery costs. And now people are looking at it. They're saying, wait, I'm not paying that. But they're paying it. They're paying it in every realm of their life. And they don't realize if you're buying conventional food, conventional means it most likely, about 90% chance, means it contains pesticides and GMOs. I'm going to talk about it right now. We're going to cover this quickly, in depth, as usual, less than 15 minutes per episode. The Dopamine Revolution podcast. I always relay it right back to dopamine. How does it affect our life every day, every minute of every day? How does it affect our motivation, our energy, our cognition, our muscle recovery? How does eating these things affect our life? Right now, genetically modified organisms in food. So here's what's happening, folks. Here's what's happening. The corn industry, the soy industry, that's where it all started in the 1980s, mid to later 80s. And you can Google all this if you want to. Mid to late 80s, scientists in their white lab coats who love their job, who love looking under the microscope and splicing genes and genetically altering things. It's just so much fun and so interesting to them. And most of them think they're doing very good things for the planet and people. But the organizations that fund everything for them, like NIH, they only send you money if it agrees with the big pharma and big food or big ag goals, their end game. And so they're in the labs, and what they do is they take the genes from toxic plants and venomous insects or animals, and they splice them into the seeds of crops, produce, vegetables, fruit, grains, whatever. There's big profits to be made, and wherever there are insects, worms, beetles, whatever you want to call them, animals that are eating away at those profits, that are eating away at the crop. So today, just to make it simpler, I'm going to talk about corn, okay? Because corn's in so many products. It's everywhere. Cornmeal, corn on the cob, corn soup, corn chowder. Corn, it's everywhere. Corn. So the western rootworm beetle eats away at the roots, hence the name, of corn, We've got 80 million acres in the United States of America that are infested with the rootworm beetle eating away at the corn. So what did they do? They hired scientists to take toxic genes from plants and animals and insert them into the corn, which dissolves the insides of the rootworm beetle. It dissolves their insides, the toxins, okay? And it keeps them from reproducing and makes them infertile, okay? These are animals now, the rootworms. These are animals on planet Earth eating corn just like us, okay? Now, a lot of people will try to discredit a lot of this lab work and say, well, they tested it on rats and the rats died of, they got horrific tumors inside of 2 years. They got actually inside of 4 months when they tested glyphosate. I'm going to go over that herbicide they use for Roundup Ready crops. And they tested it, and these animals got horrific cancerous tumors on their kidneys and their liver within 4 months. These are rats that live for 2 years on average. So the rats died. This was Seralini, a group from France. They did peer-reviewed research by the protocol, everything. Monsanto tried to discredit it. Anyway, so these genes, these toxic genes from plants and insects are destroying the rootworm beetle. They're actually creating pesticides in the corn crop. So the corn's growing out of the ground. It contains a pesticidal gene that destroys the inside of the animals that eat the corn. Think about that for a second. Let it sink in. Okay? So, humans, we eat this corn, genetically modified corn. We eat it, and our insides, in our gut, we are literally producing pesticide. Our gut is making pesticide. Guess what that does? It causes cancer. It causes dementia. It contributes to autism. Did you know most autism cases originate from bad gut bacteria, a lack of good flora, because it's destroyed by toxins? Yep. So your liver is being overwhelmed. It's being taxed with pesticides when you eat GMO corn. Okay, Monsanto came up with this in the late 80s, perfected it in the 90s, bioengineered it. Yep, biotech. That's a dirty word. Biotech, biotechnology. Dirty word, folks. Dirty word. You meet somebody that works in biotech, most likely they're designing food that kills humans. Yep, and they get paid big bucks to do it. Big bucks. 200, 300 grand a year. Just go to the lab, splice some genes from toxic plants, and stick it in the corn and the soy and the canola and the cottonseed. Yep, that's why the seed oils are so bad. That's why they're so bad, folks. Roundup Ready crops. So this is another racket. Roundup Ready crops. That sounds kind of cool, doesn't it? Roundup Ready. Yeah. Okay, we're going to put some Roundup. Roundup, you know what that is? You buy it at Home Depot or Lowe's and you spray it all over the grass. It kills everything. It kills the weeds. It kills rabbits. It kills honeybees that make most of our food on planet Earth, pollinate it. But it doesn't kill the grass. Amazing magic. Glyphosate. It contains glyphosate. So Roundup contains glyphosate. So they've inserted the genes from the glyphosate into the crops so they resist dying from the weed killer. Roundup weed killer. The most famous, the most sold, the most profitable weed killer herbicide on planet Earth is Roundup. It contains glyphosate, and Roundup Ready crops, just like corn and soy, contain tons of pesticidal genes, herbicidal genes that cause cancer, that cause dementia. Okay, so when you go to the store and you're buying organic food, it does not contain GMOs. It cannot. It's inspected for those toxic genes. It's inspected for pesticides, herbicides, insecticides. Even the funk they put in the what do you call it? Algicide and what do they call it? What helps the plants grow. Yeah, they put it in everything. But organic food doesn't contain the pesticides. Fertilizer, there's my word, fertilizer. They put it in the fertilizer. So organic food does not contain that. So in the long run, you eat organic food and you're not dying of cancer and you don't have dementia where you forget who your relatives are and you become this angry, old, decrepit person. Okay? That is not genetic. That does not happen normally. No, that doesn't happen. Stop eating conventional crops and produce. Okay? That's what GMOs are. Genetically modified organisms in the food. Yeah, and you find them in medicine and vaccines too, but that's a whole nother topic. So anyway, what are you going to do about it? So you buy organic food, and then if you've been eating all of that crap, you have depleted your dopamine because you have invaded, your liver's been invaded with pesticides. And so it's producing less dopamine in the brain. And the pesticides, like I told you in the last episode, are wrecking the protective coating of the vesicles and the neuronal pathways that carry the dopamine throughout the brain and body. And so you're depleted of dopamine. What do? Well, there's plenty of foods, supplements, and superfoods that boost dopamine naturally, and one of them is vitamin B12. So I take it as a tincture. If you're watching this video, there it is. If you're listening, vitamin B12 as methylcobalamin. Okay, big word. Just remember methyl, because the other kind of vitamin B12 is cyanocobalamin. So just think a cyanide is bad. Don't buy cyanocobalamin. You just piss it out. It's a waste of money. Expensive pee. That's what we call it in the natural health advocacy world. Expensive urine. Don't buy crappy vitamins from Walmart. Don't go to CVS pharmacy and buy your vitamins. They sell all the crap. It's dead. Dead vitamins. Waste of money. All right, we're coming up on the 13-minute mark, so I'm going to start wrapping this one up. Vitamin B12, the tincture's better. Okay, because the capsules, if you're buying capsules for your supplements, you need to switch over to tinctures because the capsules contain gelatin, which is animal parts boiled down. Okay, and then they contain phthalates, 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 which also cause cancer and endocrine disruption, hormone disruption. So you want to avoid the capsules, folks, and buy organic food. It's not costing you more. It's costing you less because you're not going to incur all the horrific sicknesses that are preventable. You won't have to go get chemo and die from the chemo. You won't have to have surgery to get tumors removed because you'll be healthy. Eat organic food, eat clean food. Most local farmers don't use GMOs. They don't use the seeds. They don't spray the Roundup on everything. They're not growing Roundup-ready crops. They're keeping it clean, most local farmers. So if you can go to your local produce stands, this spring, this summer, do that. Big benefit there. All right, folks, avoid lab-concocted food. If it's made in a lab, why are you going to eat it? Who wants to eat lab-concocted food? It's Frankenfood. That's what we call it. It's Frankenfood for Frankenstein. Remember the zombie Frankenstein? Dr. Frankenstein made him. He was walking around. He was green from eating all the GMOs. That's what Frankenstein is. He's a walking zombie GMO pesticide factory. All right, that's going to wrap us up for the Dopamine Revolution podcast, episode number 2, GMOs. Live long and healthy. Prosper, folks. Prosper. Over and out.